Growing up in the golden era of the Xbox, the dream started with the Xbox 720 and rapidly drifted towards the Xbox Handheld. The Nintendo DS was an absolute banger, the PSP had a snazzy UMD disc and groundbreaking graphics. Heck, even Nokia had its Engage portable gaming system. So it only made sense that Microsoft was going to get into the handheld game sooner rather than later. Well, after 20 years of waiting, they let us down again. Well, kinda. Okay, so what did Microsoft really do here? Microsoft just did something nobody expected. They partnered with ASUS to completely remake how Windows works on a handheld, instead of trying to make their own. And the result is pretty good. The new ROG X Ally X finally solves a problem that's plagued PC gaming handhelds since day one. Windows is atrocious on handheld PCs. But this device, it doesn't feel nearly as much like a PC after the initial setup. It feels more like a real console, sometimes. We're talking about a device that absolutely crushes most of the competition in performance, has some of the best ergonomics ever put on a handheld, delivers genuinely decent battery life, and costs less than most competitors with the same chips inside. Albeit it costs more than what I paid for my first car. Let's start with what makes the ROG Xbox Ally X genuinely different from everything else out there. Microsoft and ASUS partnered to create something called the Xbox Full Screen Experience, or FSE for short. And honestly, this is the real star of the show. Here's what blows my mind about it. When you turn on the handheld, you don't boot into Windows, you boot straight into a beautiful console-like interface. No messy desktop, no confusing background process, just clean, dedicated gaming UI, and it feels like you're holding an Xbox, not a PC. During your initial boot up process, you will go through some of the typical Windows setup processes, but after that, you're golden. The FSE does something pretty remarkable under the hood too. It disables all those unnecessary Windows background tasks and frees up about 2 gigs of system memory. Now that might not sound like much, but on a handheld where RAM is shared with GPU, that's a massive deal. Every bit of performance counts, and the FSE makes sure that you're not wasting resources on anything that doesn't help you play games. And here's the beauty of it. It's genuinely fast. The UI is responsive, intuitive, and everything you need is just a button press away. Press that new Xbox button and you get instant access to audio settings, brightness controls, network options, and performance monitoring. It's the kind of polish you'd expect from a dedicated gaming device, not a modified Windows PC. But, and this is cool, you're not locked in. You can launch Steam, Epic, and access your entire game library from every platform all in one place. It's like having everything you need without the clutter. Alright, let's talk about what this thing actually feels like in your hands, because that's huge for handheld devices. ASUS completely redesigned the grips. The result is fantastic. Instead of those square, somewhat awkward edges from previous Allies, you now get proper controller style grips that feel like an actual Xbox controller. And honestly, it's noticeably more comfortable to hold even though the device is slightly heavier at just over 1.5 pounds. The build quality is top tier. You're looking at a sleek matte black finish with LED rings around the full-size thumbsticks that look absolutely gorgeous. Everything feels premium and durable, and this device is built to last. But let me talk about the triggers, because they genuinely are exceptional. We're talking about Hall effects technology here, which means zero drift concerns. Plus, they've integrated the same impulse trigger tech you find on first-party Xbox controllers. So you get haptic feedback, you get durability, and you get satisfying resistance when you pull them. It's kind of the attention to detail that makes massive difference during long gaming sessions. The I/O is solid too. You've got 2 USB Type-C ports, one which is USB Type 4, a micro SD card reader for expanding storage, a headphone jack that because they are brave, and here's a nice touch, the power button doubles as a fingerprint sensor. So no more annoying pin code. Little features like that show the thought put into the design. And those speakers, they're legitimately one of the best on any handheld. We're talking about front-facing audio that actually is clear, loud, without sounding tiny. It's a nice surprise. Now let's talk about what's powering this bad boy, because this is where the Xbox Ally X really shows what it's capable of. At its heart, you've got an AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme processor. The chip is an absolute beast. Paired with the 24 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM and a 1TB solid-state drive, you're looking at serious performance credentials. The 7-inch display is 1080p with 120Hz refresh rate and VRR support. And here's the thing, 1080p is the perfect resolution for this screen size and processor combo. You get stunning visuals without crushing your frame rate or your battery life. If you're looking for some in-depth benchmarks, I would highly suggest going and checking out the Fox's definitive review video after you're done watching mine. The hyper-condensed breakdown of the Fox's benchmark is that you are able to produce equivalent performance to the previous generation ROG Ally with less power consumption. The FSC also gives you quick access to performance monitoring, FPS counter, and you can switch between different operating modes with a single button press. It's all about putting you in control without overwhelming you with options. Okay, so here's where efficiency really starts to matter. Battery life. And the Xbox Ally X has an 80 watt-hour battery to work with, which is substantial. During real gameplay with demanding titles, we're looking at a solid numbers. Playing Forza Horizon 5 at a standard 17 watt performance mode, you're getting approximately 3 hours of total gameplay. That's legitimately more than enough for a commute or a flight. What's even more impressive is how the improved efficiency changes the actual user experience, because you can maintain 1080p gaming performance at lower power profiles. You're not constantly chained to a power outlet like you might be with other high-end gaming handhelds. And that fundamentally changes how you use this device. Let me paint you a picture of where I feel some real-life use cases come into play. Chilling on the couch, rewatching a couple episodes of your favorite TV show, and you decide that you want to get your hands dirty with some Diablo 4. Pull the Xbox Ally X off the charger and boot right into FSE. No fuss, just right into games with quick resume. With the more widely adopted platform of Windows and the new FSE, you can simply switch not only between games, but between platforms. You can play games from Xbox, Steam, GOG, Epic, and other stores without leaving the full screen experience. Heck, you can even play games with anti-cheats like Call of Duty or Battlefield. Not like Ricochet even works, but I digress. Maybe you want to check the performance metrics or adjust your screen brightness, and guess what? You were just a few simple clicks away from seeing all of your Xbox Ally X's performance stats and adjusting the settings any way that you like. You can even change your power profile if you want to squeeze out a little bit more time without being next to your charger, or kick it into turbo for more demanding titles. Everything is exactly where you need it. You might be wondering, how does this stack up against the Steam Deck or other handhelds? The Xbox Ally X is the performance leader in this category. No questions asked. The Steam Deck OLED is fantastic for what it is and for its price point. But if you want raw power and the smoothest 1080p gaming on a handheld, the Xbox Ally X is your answer. The design improvements alone puts us in a different conversation than previous generations. The FSE partnership shows that Microsoft and Asus are serious about making a device that competes with dedicated consoles in terms of user experience, not just on specs. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price. The ROG Xbox Ally X with a Z2 Extreme, 24 gigs of RAM, and 1TB of storage is $1,000. That's a significant investment, and honestly, the ROG Xbox Ally is overpriced in my opinion. Yes, you get top of the line specs, you have the ability to connect to an external GPU, you use it as a desktop and play some modern games at 1080p on low settings, but does this justify the cost? Not really. For the same cost, I can go out and buy myself a brand new Steam Deck OLED and get my wife a Switch too. Oh shucks, I lose out on some performance. I can't play every game in my library, just 90% of them. Oh hot damn, how sad it is I can't play Xbox Ultimate Game Pass games, even though the price just increased by 50%. Sorry not sorry, $1,000 just too steep of an asking price for the Xbox Ally X. It may be a great piece of tech with the OS changes carrying the bulk of the improvement, but guess what? The full screen experience isn't exclusive to the ROG Xbox Ally X. What are you paying for? Now there's some more affordable option. Asus offers a white model with a Z2A chip, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage for $600. It's a decent alternative if you're budget conscious, though it's worth noting that at $600, you're getting a device with older architecture that's arguably overpriced compared to alternatives like the Steam Deck OLED. Now I want to be giving you an honest review if I didn't mention a couple of things to think about. First, while the FSE is amazing, there's still the occasional UI hangup and Steam still launches separately, which means you get some window pop-ups. It's not a deal breaker, the FSE handles 99% of your needs, but it's worth knowing that you're still working with Windows under the hood. Second, cloud gaming isn't ideal here. For fast-paced competitive shooters, the latency makes games like Halo pretty frustrating. This is kind of a cloud thing regardless. Local gaming is where this device shines. And third, it cannot play Xbox games. Only Xbox Play Anywhere games and PC games. So if you have a massive digital library of Xbox games like I do, you are SOL. Sorry about your luck. So here's the bottom line. The Asus ROG Xbox Ally X is the best premium handheld gaming PC you can buy right now. It's a clear step forward from its predecessor. The improved ergonomics feel incredible. The performance is genuinely impressive across the board. The battery life is more than respectable. And most importantly, the Xbox full screen experience transformed how this device feels to use. For the first time, you're not fighting Windows on a handheld, you're celebrating it. If you're someone who wants the most powerful, most comfortable, most capable handheld gaming device available, and you've got the wallet to match, this is your device. Asus and Microsoft have created something genuinely special here. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more honest tech reviews. I bought this with my own money. I wish I wouldn't have. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Xbox Ally X. Would you make the jump? Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.